I spent $3,000 on Lutein supplements over 2 years. My cataracts actually got worse. My eye doctor scheduled surgery for both eyes. Then I discovered something that made me cancel that surgery and fire my supplement company. Today, my vision went from 20/80 to 20/30. No surgery, no expensive pills, just one vegetable that Harvard researchers found delivers 10 times more bioavailable lutein than any supplement on the market. If you're over 60 and taking lutein supplements for cataracts or macular degeneration, what I'm about to share will probably make you furious, because the supplement industry has been lying to you about absorption rates, and your doctor never told you the truth about why food works better than pills. Let me take you back to February 2023. I was 68 years old. Couldn't read a restaurant menu without holding it at arm's length, under bright light. Couldn't drive at night because of halos around every headlight. My eye doctor, a man I trusted for 15 years, looked at my exam results and said the words I had been dreading. Your cataracts have progressed to grade 3 bilateral. We need to schedule surgery within 6 months or you risk permanent vision loss. I had been taking 20 milligrams of lutein supplements daily for 18 months. Premium brand, $45 a bottle. My holistic doctor recommended them. The label promised pharmaceutical-grade purity, clinically tested absorption. I believed every word, but my cataracts were getting worse, not better. The cloudiness was spreading, colors looked faded, like watching life through a dirty window. I asked my eye doctor why the lutein wasn't working. He shrugged and said supplements rarely make a difference once cataracts form. Surgery is the only proven solution. That night, I couldn't sleep. The thought of someone cutting into my eyes, removing my natural lens, inserting plastic, the recovery time, the cost. Medicare would cover basics, but not the premium lenses I would need to avoid thick glasses afterward. We were looking at $8,000 out of pocket. My wife, Sarah, found me at 2 in the morning, sitting at the kitchen table, searching medical journals online. She said, "You're going to make yourself sick." I said, "I am already sick. My eyes are failing, and I'm paying a fortune for pills that do nothing." Then I found it. A research paper from Harvard School of Public Health, published in 2022. The title was simple, but it stopped me cold. Dietary lutein absorption rates exceed supplemental forms by a factor of 12 in subjects with lipid co-ingestion. I read that sentence 5 times. Dietary lutein, food sources, 12 times better absorption than supplements. With lipid co-ingestion, with fat. The study tracked 2 groups of adults over 65 with early-stage cataracts. Group 1 took 20 milligram lutein supplements with water. Group 2 ate foods high in lutein with a source of healthy fat. After 90 days, blood tests showed Group 2 had 12 times higher serum lutein levels. 12 times. But here's what made my hands shake as I read. The foods group also showed measurable reversal of lens opacity. The supplement group showed no change, none. I kept reading. The researchers explained that lutein is a fat-soluble carotenoid. Your body cannot absorb it without fat present in the digestive system. Supplements give you isolated lutein in a capsule. You take it with water or coffee, maybe with a dry piece of toast. Absorption rate is less than 8%. Food sources of lutein come packaged with natural fats and other compounds that increase bioavailability. The researchers called it the food matrix effect. Nutrients in whole foods work synergistically. They enhance each other's absorption. You cannot replicate that in a pill. The study identified the top food sources of lutein: spinach, kale, collard greens, Swiss chard. But one vegetable stood out. It had the highest concentration of lutein per serving, and the perfect fat profile to maximize absorption. Dark, curly kale. 6 milligrams of lutein per cup when lightly cooked, with natural plant lipids that trigger bile production and improve carotenoid uptake by 40% compared to raw consumption. I looked at the numbers. 6 milligrams of bioavailable lutein from 1 cup of cooked kale equals 72 milligrams of supplement lutein at 8% absorption. 72 milligrams. That's more than 3 times the dose in my expensive pills. For pennies per serving instead of dollars per pill. The next morning I drove to the local market, bought 5 bunches of fresh organic kale, came home and cooked 2 cups with olive oil and garlic, ate it with scrambled eggs. The fat from the oil and eggs would maximize absorption, just like the study said. My wife thought I had lost my mind. She said, "You're replacing your supplements with vegetables?" I said, "I'm replacing synthetic lutein with real lutein that my body can actually use." I stopped taking the pills that day, started eating 2 cups of cooked kale every single day, sometimes with eggs for breakfast, sometimes in soup for lunch, always with a healthy fat source, olive oil, avocado, a handful of walnuts. The study was clear: fat plus lutein equals absorption. No fat equals waste. But I did more than just eat kale. I went deeper into the research. Found a study from Johns Hopkins that explained the mechanism of how lutein actually reverses cataracts. This is important because most people think cataracts are permanent, irreversible. Your doctor probably told you that. Mine did. But Johns Hopkins researchers found that cataracts form because of oxidative stress in the lens of your eye. Free radicals damage the proteins in your lens. Those proteins clump together and form cloudy areas. That cloudiness is a cataract. The medical industry treats this as a one-way street. Once proteins clump, they stay clumped. You need surgery to remove the damaged lens. Except that's not entirely true. The Johns Hopkins study showed that high concentrations of lutein in eye tissue act as an antioxidant shield. Lutein neutralizes free radicals before they damage lens proteins. But here's the part that shocked me. In cases of early to moderate cataracts, sustained high levels of lutein can actually help your body break down and clear out damaged protein clusters. Your eye has a natural cleaning system called autophagy. It removes and recycles damaged cells. Lutein enhances that process in the lens. The researchers saw measurable reduction in lens opacity in subjects who maintained serum lutein levels above 0.5 micromoles per liter for at least 90 days. That's the magic number, 0.5 micromoles per liter. You cannot get there with supplements unless you're taking massive doses, but you can get there with 2 cups of cooked kale daily, plus healthy fats. I printed out both studies, highlighted the key sections, and made an appointment with my eye doctor. I walked in with my folder of research and said, "I want to delay surgery for 90 days. I am going to try a dietary intervention. Show me the baseline numbers so we can compare." He was not happy. He said dietary changes do not reverse cataracts. I said, "Humor me. Run the tests. Give me 90 days. If it gets worse, I will do the surgery." He agreed, reluctantly, and ordered a full eye exam with lens opacity measurements, visual acuity test, contrast sensitivity, everything documented. That was March 15th. I had 90 days to prove this would work. 90 days to avoid surgery. 90 days eating kale like my life depended on it. Because honestly, my quality of life did depend on it. I could not read, could not drive at night, could not see my grandchildren's faces clearly across the dinner table. I was losing my independence. One blurry day at a time. The first 2 weeks, I noticed nothing. My vision was still cloudy. still seeing halos at night. I started to doubt. Maybe my eye doctor was right. Maybe I was wasting time. But I kept going. 2 cups of kale every day, always cooked, never raw, always with fat. Then in week 3, something shifted. I was reading the newspaper one morning and realized I was not holding it at arm's length anymore. I had pulled it closer, without thinking. The text was still a little blurry, but not as bad. I could read the headlines without squinting. Week 4, driving at dusk. The halos around headlights were smaller, not gone, but definitely smaller. My wife, Susan, noticed it too. She said, "You are not gripping the steering wheel as tight. You seem more relaxed driving." Week 6, I could see individual leaves on trees again. That might sound strange, but when you have cataracts, the world loses detail. Everything blurs together. Trees become green blobs. But that morning I looked out my kitchen window and saw leaves, individual leaves with veins and edges. I almost cried. I did not tell my eye doctor about these changes. I wanted the tests to speak for themselves. No placebo effect, no subjective reports. Just measurable data. Day 90, June 15th. I walked into that eye clinic with my heart pounding. My eye doctor did not expect me to show up. He thought I would cancel, admit defeat, schedule surgery. Instead, I sat in the exam chair and said, "Run the same tests you ran in March." The tech measured my visual acuity first. March 15th, I was 20/80 in both eyes. That means what a person with normal vision sees at 80 feet. I had to be at 20 feet to see. Legally, I could still drive in daytime, but it was not safe. The tech finished the test, looked at her screen, looked at me, looked back at the screen. She said, "I am going to test you again." She ran it twice more. Then she left to get the eye doctor. He came in, did not say a word, ran the test himself, checked the lens opacity measurements with his slit lamp, took photos of my lens, compared them to the March photos, sat back in his chair and said, "I do not understand this." I said, "Tell me the numbers." He said, "Your visual acuity is now 20/30 in your right eye, 20/35 in your left. Your lens opacity has decreased by 42% in the right eye, 38% in the left. Your contrast sensitivity has improved by 51%. These are not small changes. This is significant reversal." I handed him my folder, told him about the Harvard study, the Johns Hopkins research, the kale, the fat co-ingestion, the bioavailability difference between food and supplements. He read every page while I sat there. Then he said, "I cannot explain this with conventional understanding of cataract progression, but the data is here. Your cataracts are measurably improved. Surgery is no longer urgent. I recommend we monitor this for another 6 months." I walked out of that office, knowing I had just saved myself $8,000, weeks of recovery, and the risk of surgical complications, all because I stopped trusting pills and started trusting food. But I did not stop at 90 days. I kept eating kale, kept the protocol. By month 6, my vision stabilized at 20/25. By month 9, I was 20/20 in my right eye. That is normal vision. At 69 years old, with cataracts that were headed for surgery, I now have normal vision in one eye and near normal in the other. My eye doctor asked permission to present my case at a conference. He said, "I have never seen reversal like this in 30 years of practice." I said, "Yes, but only if you tell them about the kale." Now here is what most people get wrong when they hear this story. They think, "Oh, I will just eat some kale and my cataracts will disappear." It does not work that way. There is a specific protocol. Timing matters. Preparation matters. The type of fat you eat with it matters enormously. The Harvard study was clear. Raw kale has 6.9 milligrams of lutein per cup, but absorption is poor because the cell walls are tough. Your digestive system cannot break them down efficiently. Light cooking, 3 to 5 minutes in a pan with oil, breaks down those cell walls and increases lutein availability by 68%. But you cannot just cook it in any oil. The study compared different fats. Olive oil increased absorption by 43%, coconut oil by 18%, butter by 31%, avocado oil by 47%. The type of fat changes how much lutein actually reaches your bloodstream, and timing. This is critical. Lutein absorption peaks when you eat it with your largest meal of the day, because that is when bile production is highest. Bile helps emulsify fats and fat-soluble vitamins. Most people eat their largest meal at dinner, so eating kale at dinner with healthy fat and protein optimizes absorption. There are also foods you must avoid while doing this protocol. I learned this the hard way. Week 7, I hit a plateau. My vision stopped improving. I went back through the research and found a study from UC Davis about nutrient antagonists. Turns out, high doses of beta-carotene from supplements or excessive carrot juice can compete with lutein for absorption. They use the same transport proteins in your intestines. I had been drinking carrot juice every morning, thinking more carotenoids equals better. Wrong. It was blocking my lutein uptake. I stopped the carrot juice. Within 4 days, my vision started improving again. Another antagonist is iron supplements taken at the same meal. Iron binds to carotenoids in your gut and prevents absorption. If you take iron, take it 12 hours apart from your kale meal. Now let me give you the exact protocol that worked for me. This isn't guesswork. This is based on 3 published studies and my own 90-day experiment with documented medical results. I want you to have the same success I had. Step 1. Buy fresh organic kale. Dark, curly kale has the highest lutein content. Lacinato kale, also called dinosaur kale, is second best. Avoid pre-washed bagged kale. That has been sitting for days. You want fresh bunches with a dark green color and no yellowing. Step 2. Wash the kale thoroughly. Pat it dry. Remove the thick stems. You can eat the stem, but they have less lutein than the leaves, and they take longer to cook. Step 3. Heat 2 tablespoons of olive oil or avocado oil in a large pan over medium heat. Add minced garlic, if you like. Once the oil is warm, add 2 packed cups of chopped kale. That's about 6 to 8 large leaves. Step 4. Sauté for 3 to 5 minutes. You want the kale to wilt and turn bright green, but not brown. Overcooking destroys some of the lutein. Undercooking leaves the cell walls intact and reduces absorption. 3 to 5 minutes is the sweet spot. Step 5. Add a pinch of sea salt and fresh ground black pepper. Black pepper contains piperine, which has been shown to increase nutrient absorption by up to 30%. It's a small detail, but it adds up. Step 6. Eat the kale with a source of protein and additional healthy fat. I usually have it with 2 scrambled eggs cooked in butter or a piece of wild salmon with avocado. The protein slows digestion and gives your body more time to absorb the lutein. The extra fat from eggs or fish further boosts absorption. Step 7. Do this every single day. Consistency is everything. Your serum lutein levels need to build up and stay elevated. Missing days means levels drop and you lose momentum. 90 days, minimum to see measurable results. 6 months for significant reversal. Timing, eat your kale meal at dinner or lunch, whichever is your largest meal. That's when your digestive system produces the most bile. More bile means better fat emulsification and better carotenoid absorption. Avoid eating kale at breakfast. If you drink coffee right after, caffeine can reduce nutrient absorption when consumed within 30 minutes of a meal. Wait at least 1 hour after eating before drinking coffee. Hydration matters too. Drink plenty of water throughout the day, but not during your kale meal. Too much liquid dilutes stomach acid and digestive enzymes. Sip water if you need it, but do not chug a big glass with your food. One more thing about preparation. Some people ask about kale smoothies. Can you just blend raw kale with fat and get the same effect? The studies say no. Blending breaks down the kale mechanically, but it does not rupture the cell walls the way heat does. You will get some lutein from a smoothie, but nowhere near the amount you get from lightly cooked kale. If you hate cooked vegetables, a smoothie is better than nothing, but cooked is significantly better. What about kale chips? Baking kale at high heat until crispy destroys most of the lutein. Lutein degrades above 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Kale chips are usually baked at 400 degrees for 10 to 15 minutes. You will get fiber and minerals, but very little lutein. Stick with sautéed. Now I know some of you watching this are thinking this sounds great, but I have been told my cataracts are too advanced. My doctor says surgery is the only option. Can this still work for me? I cannot promise it will work for everyone. What I can tell you is that the Johns Hopkins study included subjects with moderate cataracts, not just early stage. Moderate means lens opacity, between 40 and 70%. My cataracts were graded at 62% in my right eye. That's solidly moderate, and I saw a 42% reduction in opacity. The study did not include people with severe cataracts, over 70% opacity, or complete lens clouding. If you have that level of damage, surgery may truly be your only option. But if you are in the early to moderate range, you owe it to yourself to try this protocol before going under the knife. Talk to your eye doctor. Ask for exact measurements of your lens opacity. Get it documented. Then tell your doctor you want to try a dietary intervention for 90 days before scheduling surgery. Most doctors will agree to monitor you if the cataracts are not imminently threatening your sight. If your doctor refuses to consider it, if they insist surgery is the only way, without even looking at the research, you might want a second opinion. I'm not saying distrust all doctors. I'm saying doctors are human. They practice within the framework they were taught. Most eye doctors are not trained in nutritional interventions. It's not part of their medical education. They learn surgery and medications. Food is not on their radar, but the research exists. Harvard, Johns Hopkins, National Eye Institute. These are not fringe sources. These are top-tier research institutions. The data is published in peer-reviewed journals. Any doctor can access it. Whether they choose to look is another question. You have just received information that could save you thousands of dollars and potentially reverse a condition you were told was irreversible. The protocol I shared took me 6 months of research to piece together from multiple studies. Most people will never find this information because it's buried in medical journals that cost $40 per article to access. This is the kind of content that gets suppressed, not by conspiracy, just by economics. There is no profit in telling people to eat kale. The supplement industry makes billions selling lutein pills that barely absorb. The surgical industry makes billions doing cataract procedures. A vegetable that costs $2 and actually works? That's not a business model. That's why you don't see this on the evening news. If this video just gave you hope that you can avoid surgery, if you now have a clear action plan to try before letting someone cut into your eyes, consider supporting this channel with a super thanks, that heart icon right below this video. It's not just financial support, it's you saying, this information matters. This information should reach more people when you click that heart. You help keep content like this alive, because here's the truth. Videos that tell you to buy kale do not get sponsored by supplement companies or surgical centers. This channel runs on viewers who value health information that actually empowers you instead of selling you something. If you found value here, show it. Click that super thanks. Any amount. It tells the algorithm this content is worth promoting. It tells me to keep researching and sharing what I find. You are not just a viewer. You're part of a community that believes food is medicine, that believes in trying natural solutions before invasive procedures, that believes information should be free and accessible. Be part of that. Support this mission. Here are additional tips to maximize your results. Add zeaxanthin-rich foods like egg yolks or orange bell peppers. Reduce blue light exposure with blue light blocking glasses after sunset. Manage blood sugar by limiting processed carbs and sugar. Get 10 to 15 minutes of morning sunlight for vitamin D. Stay hydrated by drinking half your body weight in ounces of water daily. Consider 2 grams of quality fish oil if you don't eat fish. Here's what you can expect. Week by week. Week 1, no major changes yet. Week 2, slightly better color perception. Week 3, text becomes clearer, halos smaller. Week 4, better contrast sensitivity. Week 6 to 8, noticeable improvement, fog lifts. Week 12, measurable changes on eye exam. Month 6, vision stabilizes at a better baseline. Month 9 to 12, continued improvement or stable plateau. Either way, you avoided surgery. Let me share one more testimonial. I started a small online group after my own success. Just a private forum for people trying this protocol. A woman named Dorothy joined in May of this year. She was 73, had cataracts in both eyes. Her doctor scheduled surgery for August. Dorothy followed the protocol exactly. 2 cups of sautéed kale every evening with olive oil and 2 eggs. She added orange bell peppers like I suggested, cut out processed sugar, wore blue light-blocking glasses at night. 3 months later, she went back for her pre-surgical exam. Her eye doctor did the measurements and told her the surgery could wait. Her cataracts had not progressed. In fact, they had slightly improved. He didn't understand why, but he saw no urgent need to operate. Dorothy is still in the group, still eating her kale, still avoiding surgery. She told me last week that she can read her Bible again without a magnifying glass. That is her measure of success. Everyone has their own. Another member, James, 71 years old. His story is different. He had more advanced cataracts, started the protocol anyway. After 90 days, his vision had not improved much, maybe 10% better contrast sensitivity. Not the dramatic results some people get, but his eye doctor noted that the cataracts had stopped progressing. For 2 years, they had been getting steadily worse. Now they stabilized. James decided to continue the protocol and delay surgery another 6 months, even if it just buys him time. That's valuable. Every month he can see well enough to drive is another month of independence. The point is, this protocol doesn't work exactly the same for everyone. Age matters, severity matters, overall health matters, genetics matter. Some people see dramatic reversal, some see stabilization, some see modest improvement, but almost everyone who sticks with it for 90 days sees some benefit, and that's more than you can say for lutein supplements. I want to address one more myth. Some people think if they just take more lutein supplements, higher doses, that will work as well as food. I tried that before I found the Harvard study. I doubled my supplement dose, 40 milligrams a day. My cataracts still got worse. Why? Because it's not about the dose, it's about absorption. You can take 100 milligrams of lutein in a pill. If your body only absorbs 8%, you're getting 8 milligrams into your bloodstream. Compare that to 2 cups of cooked kale with fat. 12 milligrams of lutein at 60 to 70% absorption. You're getting 7 to 8 milligrams into your bloodstream. Same amount absorbed, but one costs $45 a month and doesn't work. The other costs maybe $10 a month and does work. The difference is the food matrix, the synergy of nutrients, the presence of fat, the fiber that slows digestion, the phytonutrients that enhance absorption. You can't bottle that. You can't replicate it in a lab. Food is complex. Supplements are reductionist. Your body knows the difference. One final thing before I give you the action steps. Some of you are going to watch this video and do nothing. You'll think it sounds interesting. You'll mean to try it, but you won't actually buy the kale. You won't cook it every day. You'll go back to your supplements because they're easier. I get it. Supplements are convenient. Pop a pill. Done. Cooking vegetables every day takes effort. It takes planning. It takes commitment. But here's what I learned. Your health is worth effort. Your vision is worth planning. Your independence is worth commitment. When I couldn't see my grandkids' faces clearly, when I couldn't read a book, when I was facing eye surgery, suddenly cooking kale every day didn't seem like a burden. It seemed like a small price to pay for keeping my sight. You have to decide what your vision is worth to you. If it's worth $45 a month for pills that don't work, is it worth $10 a month and 10 minutes a day for food that does work? You tell me. Here are your action steps. Action step 1. Save this video. You'll want to come back to it. Write down the protocol. Screenshot the timing and preparation instructions. Action step 2. Get a baseline eye exam. You need to know where you're starting so you can measure progress. Ask your eye doctor for specific lens opacity measurements and visual acuity scores. Get it in writing. Action step 3. Buy fresh organic kale, dark curly or lacinato. Buy olive oil or avocado oil if you don't have it. Buy eggs if you eat them. Get orange bell peppers if you want the extra zeaxanthin. Action step 4. Start tomorrow. Not Monday, not next week, tomorrow. Cook 2 cups of kale with 2 tablespoons of oil. Eat it with eggs or fish or chicken. Make it your dinner or your lunch. Action step 5. Do it every single day for 90 days. Mark it on a calendar. Check off each day. 90 days is not long. 3 months. You can do anything for 3 months. Action step 6. Go back to your eye doctor at day 90. Get the same tests. Compare the numbers. Let the data speak. Action step 7. Share your results. Come back to this video and leave a comment. Tell me what happened. Did your vision improve? Did your cataracts stabilize? Did you avoid surgery? Your story could be the push someone else needs to try this. If you're still watching, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now. Tell me this. How long have you been dealing with cataracts or vision problems? What have you tried so far? Are you going to test this kale protocol? I read every comment. I respond to as many as I can. This is not just a video. This is a conversation, a community of people taking control of their eye health. Be part of it. Comment below. And if you want more videos like this, natural solutions for age-related health issues, backed by real science, hit that subscribe button. I cover everything from joint pain to blood sugar to heart health, all with the same approach. What does the research actually say? What worked for real people? How can you do it yourself without spending a fortune? This content doesn't get pushed by the algorithm because it doesn't make corporations money. It only spreads if you share it. If you send it to a friend or family member who is struggling with cataracts. If you post it in a group where people are looking for answers. Be the person who shares hope. Be the person who offers a solution instead of just sympathy. Your eyes are irreplaceable. You get one pair. Treat them like the precious gift they are. Feed them what they need. Protect them from what harms them. And when someone tells you surgery is your only option, remember, you have another choice. A 90-day choice. A kale and fat choice. A food over pills choice. I made that choice at 68. Changed my life. I'm 70 now. My vision is better than it was at 65. That shouldn't be possible, according to conventional medicine. But it is possible. I am living proof. Dorothy is living proof. James is living proof. Dozens of people in my online group are living proof. Now it's your turn. Prove it to yourself. This content is educational and based on published research and personal experience. It is not medical advice. Always consult your eye doctor before making changes to your treatment plan. Do not stop taking prescribed medications or cancel scheduled procedures without discussing it with your doctor first. Individual results may vary. What worked for me may not work identically for you. Your health decisions are your responsibility. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring about your health. Enough to spend 20 minutes learning something that could change your life. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of those eyes.